So here we got a field, right? And I don't know, I wish I did know, but I got shown this as a kid, and I'm sure a lot of people have seen it. But you just draw a line from the goal out at the corners. Right. I don't like going right to the corner of the 30 because I want at least a horse width of room to work in. You don't want to tie yourself into that much of a corner. But I don't know where this came from. I was probably at a junior coaching clinic and they showed it to us, and that was it. No one had ever since. I don't know who to credit for this, but anyway. So what we've got there, and this is our attacking end, so we're goal throwing this way, right? We have a red zone, red for danger, and a green zone, green for go. Right, so means we've, because the sidelines are the defender's friend. We don't want to get close to the sidelines when we're carrying the ball because it's quite easy, bump them over. Or it runs us out of room, like the time and space that we talked about in a different video. Like, you want to give this is the space that we want to work in, not out there. So red zone, green zone. Now, it's cool, and like I've always known that. And I was pondering some challenges that we'd had in a couple of games. I was like, and I wrote this out. I was like, why don't we have that? Why don't we have that down the rest of the field? Right? So here, what we're doing is we're funneling ourselves to the goals, which is the ultimate outcome. So why don't we funnel ourselves when we're in attack to the goals? So just same thing. Let's call it to the tees, halfway. Let's just funnel ourselves in, right? So again, the red zone, where we don't want to be, and the green zone, where we do want to be. Green is our time and our space, or more importantly, our space that we funnel ourselves into here. And then the other bit that I like about, another thing that I thought about was that there should be another red zone or another danger zone that comes sort of like that, right? Cuts these corners off. You can still go in there, but you should only ever pass your ball, like you should only ever pass your the ball when he's heading in, not when he's heading out, right? Put yourself under way too much pressure to do a good turnaround where the lines are, lines of the defence's friends. So no reason why you can't go in there, but only ever pass the ball to your when he's travelling into the funnel, right? And then in defence, well, we just do the opposite. What we want to do, so this is our defensive area, our throw's going to be down in here. What we want to do is we want to limit them, that they're only allowed, so it's the same shape, but now in inverse, that if we can deny them their green zone in here, and we only give them the red, well then they're going to funnel themselves down here in the corner. Like, and I've played a lot of 2 and I did a fair bit of 3 hunting while I was doing it. And I found, like, if you give the player you're marking just a tiny little glimpse of daylight, it's actually less work on you because you're not having to turn around again, and eventually you'll lose them because they've got the initiative, you don't. Whereas if you just give them that tiny little bit of daylight and said, well, there you go, you can have the 30-yard area, but here, well, guess where your number 3 can now be aiming for, because you've now funneled them into a bad spot. You funnel them into a bad spot where they've got no options. And same as in here, if you can, all right, well, you can have the area, but you only get these spots in defence, right? Try and just, very hard to throw a goal from there. If you're playing Abbott Grills, it's not very hard for him to throw a goal there, but the majority of players, like, they're not going to want to be in there. I don't want to be in here to throw a goal. I want to have the full face of the goals for me to throw the ball through. So, yeah, so attacking funnels, funnel yourself towards the goals, and defensive funnels, funnel them to the sidelines. Remember, the line's are the defence's friend, so send the opposition there. Let them have the sideline, right? Let them have the sideline. Let them make it defensive, like let them make a desperation play. Right? Desperation plays, if they work and they look spectacular, everyone claps, but when you've got no options, that's all you got left. It doesn't always work, and it'll work less and less as the game goes on because, right, yeah, they've still thrown a couple of goals. The ball carrier's been slinging them in off the sideline, but as he's been slinging that ball in off the sideline, under pressure, his horse has been running away from you. We've got 18 minutes now to get that horse where he now will run away all the time. So hopefully halfway through the second chukker, because he's been run down to that corner, run down to that corner, run down to that corner. If he's on a bit of a streak getting the ball, he might not have any run left at all later on. So there's more than one way to skin the cat, but yeah, and just in here, you've now got options. And there is more to this, but you're probably going to actually have to see me at a clinic for it, where we've got options and how to use this green area to your advantage. But yeah, in attack, green zones, funnel yourself towards goals. In defence, funnel them into their red zones. Right.